Doug, welcome to Cat on the Loose. I finally got you here.
Yes. Took a bit.
It took a while, right? But here you are, and I'm very happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
So before we talk about your fabulous company and your amazing work with Zen Arts, let's explain to people our background. Like I was saying in the car, not only you're my guest, but we're besties and neighbors.
Yes, we are friends.
We are a true example of how, because I get that a lot on the podcast. I've been doing Cat on the Loose for 4 years now. And it's a big debate out there in the relationships and dating world that most people do not believe that men and women can just be friends. They think there's always going to be some kind of flirting or romantic dynamics. And we are a perfect example that men and women can be great friends from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, I think, when we first met, if you remember, we met at the Soho House
Yes.
in LA.
Yeah, yes.
And I didn't know you. You were actually, I think, with someone.
I was with that, you know who I was with, that situationship person that I
Yes.
was with.
Yeah, you were with whatever. You're someone. I was with a friend, a male friend.
Yes.
And you came up to me and you're like, "You're so fabulous," blah, blah, blah.
I didn't come up to you. Oh, well, okay. I almost said his name. The situationship guy came up to you and started
you're
talking
right.
to both
You're right.
of
He
you.
started talking to us.
Yeah, he
Yes.
started talking to both
Yeah.
of you. And then I asked because I asked what you did, and you said, "Oh, I'm the owner, president of Zen Arts." And I immediately looked at your Instagram like, "Oh, I want to hit him up because I want to work with him."
Yeah.
But I think it was always just friendship.
No. I think initially you're like, if you want to go on a date.
I did not.
Yes, you did. You
I
said if you
did
want to go on a
not.
date, I'm totally interested
I
in going
never
on a
did.
date. And I said, you're not really my type, but I'm down to
Doug,
hang out.
we never
Yeah.
you're talking about somebody
No.
else.
You don't remember. You
No.
don't remember putting it out there.
I did not.
You put it out there a little bit, yeah.
I still have okay, we're going to check after the podcast because we didn't. I swear
if you
to God.
if you have the text thread from the very first day,
I have the text
I'm sure
thread.
there's something in there.
I swear to God,
Something
I have
in
the
there.
text thread. I said, "Hi, Doug, how are you doing? We met at the Soho House. And by the way, I saw your Instagram and I immediately started talking because I wanted to be your social media manager. And then you asked me, I'll tell you what the story was, but I do have the thread. I can prove it.
Okay, with two sides of this
Then
story.
you said to me, "Oh, do you have any girlfriends to introduce me?" And then remember at the time I thought about Aaliyah?
Oh no! But what you said was, "I'm single."
No,
yes, that's
I
what you
wasn't.
said. No, you're right. I did it because I was like, "Hey, you seem amazing. Do you have any single girlfriends?" And you were like, "I'm single."
I did
and
not.
I was like, "Cat, come on!" And I know you've got some
wasn't.
single girlfriends.
Okay, we're going to look at the thread, but I swear
Yes,
to God,
yes.
we never
Okay,
had.
so we're gonna do a follow-up episode
We
to
do-
clarify.
Yes,
right?
guys,
Because in my
because-
recollection, it was,
Let's
hey,
bet $100 on it.
okay, $100.
Listen, I don't know. And with
Well,
all
but
due
if
respect,
it's not there, doesn't mean it didn't happen either, though.
No, I have the thread. It didn't. I'm telling you, this is why I started this episode with this conversation, because from the get-go, I thought you were like super nice. I love your work. I think you're very
you.
talented. You're an artist. We're going to talk about all of that. But same, I didn't have the vibe like I want to date you. I had the vibe I wanted to be your friend. And I was really like, very tangled up in that situationship.
I mean, regardless, we got through that very quickly. Like, it was like a matter
But
of
it
maybe
didn't.
two text
It wasn't
messages
me.
or something.
It wasn't me.
We're going to go through those text messages, and you're going to pay me $100.
You're gonna
Because we
pay-
got through it so quickly, you don't remember it.
You're gonna
But-
pay me $100.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to show up on your screen over here.
We're gonna show
in the
up
next
on Cat on the
podcast of
Loose,
who had
yeah.
to pay who.
Yes.
Who confirmed who
But I
paid
swear
who.
to God, I never wanted to go on a date with you. With all due respect,
Okay.
I love you and adore you, but I think you're wrong on this. I think it
Okay.
was somebody else.
No. No.
But anyway,
It was very simple. It was just kind of, you just said, "Hey, I'm single." Do you have any single friends?
I
You
didn't
said,
say
"I'm
that
single."
because I wasn't.
Yeah, you were technically single.
Well, okay.
You were
but
wrapped up in things, but you were.
I was wrapped up
You
in
were on the
things.
dating apps at that time too, because I saw you.
I wasn't.
At the same time, I was like, I think
Yeah.
on Bumble or something, and however many years ago, because I not been on a dating app
Yeah.
in a long time.
No,
and
I
we'll talk about that
was-
too, because now I'm like, oh, should I go
Yes.
back on a dating app?
Yeah, of course.
But
we
like
have
the
a lot
best
of.
thing I've ever did is like not being on the
Yes.
dating apps in the sense of like not swiping. But there was a moment around that same time where I swiped, I was swiping, and I saw you in your profile, And you're gonna say you weren't single, but at the same time you were actively
Look,
on
I
the
was
dating apps.
for sure because I was, as you know, we're not saying his name, but I was in a very horrible, complicated situationship. I knew the guy wasn't the right guy for me, and I was kind of falling for him, and I was trying to meet somebody else so I could get out of it. So I agree. I was on the dating apps. I didn't want to date you. I wanted to introduce you to some friends. It never worked out. But the good news is, the best thing the situationship ever did for me is that we ended up meeting each other and we became really close friends.
Yes.
And we did work together, and turns out we're neighbors, which really helps, right? And we're like a block from each other. I love your dog, you like my dogs, but before we do the entire episode arguing, because I know I'm right. The bottom line
She's not
is,
right. She's not right here. But
and he's looking at the camera. He's like, she's not
she's not right here,
right.
guys.
I'm right. I have to think where you're going to take me with the $100, but whatever. But we are proof that guys and girls can have an amazing friendship.
Yes.
So I just wanted to demystify this silly myth out there, because so many guys, they write to the pod and they're like, no, I'm always going to try to flirt with my girlfriend. And the girls are like, I don't want to have guy friends because the guy's always going to try to sleep with me. But that's not the case.
No. I mean, I just had lunch yesterday actually with two women that I've known, that are friends of mine, that are super gorgeous, super talented, very fashion-driven women. I mean, these girls are hot. We're friends. Like, we had lunch yesterday. We hung out. We hang out. Occasionally we'll have dinner parties. Those lines are never crossed. And we compliment each other all the time. It's like, oh, you're hot. Like, I appreciate this. And we talk about dating. And, they talk about the guys they're dating. And they're on the dating apps, or what they're not finding, or what they would like. And, I've been going through a breakup. And I'm talking to them about that.
Yeah.
And it's like we kind of just share our relationship, status and what's going on. And I don't know. I really do appreciate the women that I'm friends with. And I think as I get older, I just can't have every woman in my life be someone I'm trying to pursue or date. I appreciate the women that are in my life that are friends, that I can confide in, that I can see a female perspective from, that I can just spend time with. It's not me chasing them to try and have sex with them or date them.
I love that you said that, because I feel the same way. For some reason, I really get along with guys, because I think, unfortunately, many times, women are catty, right? They're jealous of each other, or they want to get your boyfriend, whatever. I love talking to my guy friends because it's a male perspective. It's always different from the female perspective. And in your case, the other way around. Although I have to say, parenthesis, I'm going to say that as your friend, you don't listen. And when it comes to the dating thing, it's a little complicated, because you want my point of view, like the woman's point of view, but you continue doing the same shit.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing I'm going to say. Maybe you should listen a little more.
Yeah. I mean, dating in Los Angeles is not an easy thing.
Right.
And it wasn't easy when I was 25. It's not easy now. It's dating is just not easy. And there's a lot of I think being a man and who has their shit together, and I've got several. I have a lot. I'm doing well, and I've got a really nice life, and I feel very fortunate in a lot of ways. And at the same time, the amount of stuff you have to filter through as a man in LA with women, it's very difficult.
And vice versa. But and we're going to talk about that. But let's rewind the tape a little bit for people that don't know you. Let's explain, because you said, you are always around so many beautiful women. You have such a magical life. So let's give everybody a little bit of your background.
Yeah.
You were an artist. You started this fabulous company called Zen Arts, Luxury Entertainment. Tell us, in a nutshell, how you got there. You were a fire eater,
I think,
right?
Well,
a long time ago.
I am a fire dancer. It's a little different when you're eating fire. I would never eat fire.
Okay, so you never ate the fire. You danced with fire.
I would dance with fire. Yeah, kind of like Cirque du Soleil, Burning Man. Dancing with different tools on fire.
Yeah.
I think it goes further back for me, is that I was always an artist, and I started playing music professionally when I was 10 years old. So I think as a child, I was always going to be an artist, and it just manifested. The mediums manifested in different ways. It might have been a saxophone or a guitar, and then it was fire dancing, and now it's kind of, I think, evolved into me art directing and producing and directing full-scale entertainment and shows that are runway ready, Cirque du Soleil-esque, dance-oriented choreography, costumes, design, art design, set design. I mean, all these things kind of piled into like the art direction of an entire sort of production and show versus like one tool, one thing on stage. But it's been a journey for me, I think, since I was a child, being an artist.
How long ago did you start Zen Arts?
Zen Arts, we started in 2008.
So it's been around for quite a long
Yeah.
time. And it's super well known. I know you guys create this crazy multi-million-dollar parties, weddings, luxury events, correct? You do everything.
Yeah, I've done theater stuff. I've worked with Beyonce and Madonna and done stuff with Cirque du Soleil, and I've had my own theater shows, and then I've done private events and corporate events and one-offs. Like we did a big party in LA a couple nights ago that was like a private event, and then I'm doing right now in talks to do a dinner show in Vegas. There'll be a residency at one of the bigger hotels there for a year, versus like we did a show in Reno last year for 6 months, and it's there's a lot. It's a lot, you know. It's like from
Yeah.
private events to could be like we just booked a wedding in the Canary Islands in a few months, you know,
how
off
cool.
of Spain. And then stuff in Vegas, stuff in LA, stuff in New York, stuff in Miami. So it's always kind of evolving, but it's high-end entertainment that's customized generally to either a show or a stage or some private sort of venue.
Yeah, I've been to a few of your events with you, and they're always like to die for. Like we were talking before the podcast started, we went to that record label New Year's party like a couple years ago, I think.
Empire Records.
Empire Records.
For the Grammys.
Yes,
Yeah, that was a good
for
one.
the Grammys. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was New Year's. And basically, they hire you to do the entertainment. So you had those girls that dance in, you call the lollipops, right?
Aerialists, acrobats.
Aerialists, it's like super sexy stuff. You have acrobats all over the party, and that's the kind of stuff that you do. We've been to a lot of other events. We've been to that super famous girl, what's her name, that did the birthday party in a mansion. Chloe.
Chloe, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember Chloe's last name, but
I know. I'm like, she has the luckiest handle for Instagram in the world because it's just Chloe.
oh, that's her handle. I don't
That's her
remember.
handle.
but
Not even
it's
Khloe
just Chloe.
Kardashian has that
just
handle.
Chloe,
It's
yeah.
hers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so she has like almost 5 million followers now.
Okay.
But that was a fabulous party as
Yeah,
well
that was a
you
great
guys
party
created.
for her birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, and so just so people can picture in their heads, but of course I'm going to put the link of his website, Instagram here on this episode so you guys can go and see the videos so you can like, you know, illustrate what we're talking about. But for example, if somebody wants to throw a super high-end, fabulous birthday party and they want to put mermaids in the pool, you do that. If they want gorgeous dancers dancing by the bar, you do that. Whatever a person dreams in terms of entertainment, you can come up with it.
Yeah, we do a lot of music and choreography and dancers and costume design, and we customize everything. Like we just did an event, actually it was really nice in Orange County for a billionaire client of ours, and the theme was One Night in Bangkok. So it was a Thai theme where we built a temple over the pool and covered the pool, and it was a Thai temple, and you know, we created all this different entertainment from like singers and live music to dancers to specialty acts and fire dancing and different things. It was revolved around the theme of Thailand and
Yeah.
One Night in Bangkok. With all the costumes are very specific, and so that kind of stuff's really fun for me. Where it's kind of a one-off, and we get to customize the entire thing. It's like putting on a Broadway show in someone's house, you know,
I love that.
for one night for $1 million.
Oh my God, $1 million for a party. Holy cow.
I mean, for the entertainment. I
For
mean,
the
The
entertainment.
whole party is probably more like 3 to 5 million. Yeah, but
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, we're gonna get there. I'm gonna ask about the cost and all the crazy shit. But so just explaining, this is why you're always around gorgeous people because of course you have a lot of dancer friends, a lot of and these girls like have obviously they have insane bodies. They're so beautiful. So it's like a magical world that you live in.
I mean, I think there's this misconception that like I'm either dating or sleeping with all
Right.
these women that I'm creating art with,
Which is not true.
Which is not the case at all.
Right.
Like, I mean, a lot of the women I work with are half my age, first of all,
Yeah.
and they're all. It's a very familial, safe environment. So for me, it's like if I'm working with a bunch of dancers and they're 20 years old, we're creating art together. It's more my vision of what I need to be creating. It's not me trying to get in their pants. So I'm not dating these girls, and it might seem like that, and it's probably fairly intimidating for some women that might come into dating with me of like, oh, you're surrounded by all these women all the time. Like you're the world of like my social media looks very sexy. And that's just not the case. It's not like
Right.
that.
I mean, you don't even do your personal social media for yourself. It's really just the social media for the company, right? You're selling
I don't have a social media
the
for
events.
me.
But I would think that a girl should date you, and we were talking about it because of the breakup you're going through. I think a woman for you has to be someone really confident in their skin and just they trust you, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If it's somebody like with an insecure personality, that like if you're in a party or an event or you travel, like you said, you go to Las Vegas, you were in New York for Halloween, same stuff. If they think every single time you're doing this multi-million-dollar events, you're going to be banging a dancer, it's never going to work.
Yeah. I think too, I don't know that people that aren't in entertainment don't understand like how much work and focus it takes, whether it's like to be a stage performer or a musician, part of a band, or to have a show like a theater show like Cirque du Soleil, or to be working with like Beyonce, is that like it's a lot of discipline and it's a lot of work and there's a lot of training that goes involved, and it's not as much of a party as it might seem, for us. I think, I work and create some of the most luxurious parties with some of the most like lavish venues and locations all over the world. But for us that are creating that art, it's about us expressing who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's not about drugs and partying and sex. And
Right.
it's like backstage is not what you might think it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe people that are not in the entertainment industry, they have a much harder time understanding the life of an artist and the long hours and the crazy schedules that we have. So maybe wouldn't it be easier for you to date somebody who is in this world as opposed to somebody who is not?
I mean, yes and no. It's like I do think like for me, it's nice I appreciate being with an artist too because I love art.
Yeah.
But also like for me to be with a woman, the woman needs to be spiritually conscious and aware and have a good handle on who she is. And I can't be with someone who's partying and who's living a sort of rock star lifestyle in the sense of like on the road all the time, or like it's hard for me to date I don't know if I could date a dancer, it's
Because
like,
they're always busy.
yeah, or they could be on tour tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? So it's like these to be a professional dancer in Los Angeles, you're auditioning every day, and then you may or may not get a job tomorrow, but then next week you might be
Yeah.
on tour,
Yeah.
with Usher for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and that's not gonna not happen, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like it's not a very stable environment. But at the same time, like these dancers are very young and they're like, this is what they want to do. And there's a short window of doing that. And I don't know that anyone in that world's like setting themselves up to be in a long-term relationship.
Right.
But for me, it's like that world. So yeah, I mean, I do appreciate, and I have had some really good relationships with artists. And I do appreciate at least someone that needs to appreciate art, understands art, enjoys art, whether they're creating it or not. Certainly makes more sense for me than
Yeah.
being with somebody that's totally disconnected
I
from
agree.
fashion and art and music,
Same for
because those
me.
are all super important to me.
Yeah, same for me. So now you're single again. You were going through a tough breakup because you were engaged, right? You
yeah.
thought that's it. You literally put a ring on a finger of this person, and it didn't work out. And now you're like picking up the pieces.
Yeah. Now I'm back in the game.
You're back in the game, and I think personally that's the best way to mend a broken heart is to be back in the game and keep trying to find the right person for you. That's what I think, But you were mentioning that you didn't do the dating apps for a long time. What do you think is the most chaotic or the most difficult part in terms of being single and trying to date again?
I mean, I think for me, and I'm not really doing a lot of that. Like I'm just now recently single, so I'm not out setting up a lot of dates. And I think, but the challenges are, at least in a city like Los Angeles, I don't know how it is in New York or San Francisco, but we're in our own bubble. We're disconnected in a lot of ways. We're segregated, and we're kind of in our own world. So it's like I'm not going to a bars, or if I'm at an event, I'm usually involved in the event. So I'm not like, consciously meeting people at an event. And then I'm working all the time. So, and I'm sleeping and going to bed and working out and taking care of my body. So the schedule is pretty rigorous. So where do you meet somebody in midst of all of that? The dating apps are an option. It's not something I'm doing right now. It's something like people have been suggesting and I've done in the past. And the problem with the dating apps for me is that it's just this window shopping of like swiping on women. And I think for me, it's like if I was gonna do that again, it would need to be with more intention and a little bit more clarity and like actual like like for instance in the past, I when I was on a dating app, I probably put an age range from 22 to 40.
Which is a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do that now. Like now it would be like I don't know, 35 to 45 or something, right? Like I wouldn't even want to be dating women in their 20s.
No, I agree. We talked about that. I think, if you're putting 22 or something, very unlikely you're going to meet a good match in terms of being in a relationship with. Yeah, so you got to be a little more focused.
Well, with the algorithm, I think like if the age range is 22, then I'm getting girls, that are in bikinis, on private jets or in yachts in Saint Tropez or whatever, and I'm swiping on that because it looks good in a photo.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the algorithm's only showing me these girls that are like hitting me up and wanting to, either their rent to be paid for, or wanting sugar daddies, or wanting to be taken care of, or don't have jobs, or just flat out broke, or want to be models, or
so that's
whatever.
What we were saying before we started recording, that the number one complaint of most men, always, I've been doing this podcast for 4 years now, guys, and it's always the same thing. Number one complaint of guys through dating apps is that so many women hit them up for money right away, right up front.
I mean, I think the dating apps there's just straight up hookers all over the dating apps. And so the dating apps are kind of flooded with like this sort of thing, right? Whether it's straight up girls that are hookers or girls that are just looking for sugar daddies or whatever. And other than like really being intentional and like maybe not swiping as much, like I don't know, someone told me The League is an app that they send you like 4 or 5 people a day, right?
I gave you the
But how
link.
many people do they send you a day?
3.
Okay, so 3. You
But
got
I
3
think-
options,
but
but
I
that
think
may
it-
not be bad, like because even if there's 100 options, you probably should only be swiping on 3 options.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, at least as a guy and me, I could just spend all day swiping on these apps, and then before you know it, you spend a couple hours in one app and you swiped on like 50 women. And so then the algorithm gets messed up.
But you got to be pickier,
Yeah, because if you're not, then the algorithm's going to send you
everything,
the wrong
everyone.
type of thing, and you're going to get caught up in all this like bullshit that's out there.
Yeah. But have you had when you were using the dating apps, did that ever happen to you? Like that a girl sends you a message and even before you guys meet and like asks, because that's what I've been hearing from a lot of guys, that even before the first date, they're like, hey, well, you have to bring me a gift on a first date. What are you going to give?
I've gotten all that before. Yeah. Like,
oh, my God.
Like, I'll go out with you, but bring me a gift, or,
oh, my God.
How much, can you afford me tonight? Or,
can you afford me?
I mean, I've had more situations where I've taken somebody out to dinner in the past, and everything's been fine, and I didn't pay the girl any money or anything. Maybe we went for a nice dinner, and it cost $300 for dinner.
Yeah.
And like she's making out with me at dinner, or by the end of dinner, and then she wants to go on another date, and then she asks like, oh, by the way, I'm looking to be taken care of. I'm like, I had a really good time with you, but like, I am looking for someone who's gonna like support me and take care of me.
That I think women are doing themselves a huge disservice doing that.
There's a lot of that just in LA.
I know. There's a lot. I don't think it's just in LA.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I hear that from like every place on earth. We get messages from people everywhere in the United States. We get messages from people from other countries. Anybody that uses the dating apps, if you talk to guys, you can like talk to a guy in France, you can talk Brazil. All the Brazilian guys complain like, oh my God, all these girls want something from me, and I think it just, like you said, even if they're not whores, but it makes you look horrible. Like you're just meeting a guy and you're asking him for gifts and money.
Maybe it depends on the app too. Like I tried the Raya app a few years ago, and like that's the app that's like exclusive.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of friends on that app now, and they're like, oh, you have to be vetted and you have to be referred, and I don't know how it is now because this is years ago. But like when I got on this app Raya, they had to vet you by your social media.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even be on. Well, you had to be referred first of all, and then you had to have like a significant social media presence to be accepted on that.
Yeah.
And at the time, I don't have a personal Instagram, right?
Right.
So my Instagram is Zen Arts. So
Yeah.
I got referred. I applied. They're like, well, no, you don't have an Instagram. And then I basically made a case like, no, this is me. This is my Instagram. Like, I can show you everything to show you that this is my social media. I don't have a personal Instagram. And they accepted me on the app. And then I think like what I found is that at least at that time, it was like filled with all the wrong girls for me, because like I was swiping on the girls that are Instagram models and, you know, like look great in all these fancy photos, like girls that have fashion and G-string bikini photos and whatever. And so I quickly, like, these girls that I would go on dates with or meet were like looking for sugar daddies, looking for celebrities,
Yeah.
like looking to be celebrities themselves, you know, like because they wanted like, you know, to gain more followers themselves. It was like exactly the girl I don't want to be with. So
Yeah.
I had to delete that app. I couldn't be on that dating app.
Same. Raya for me, it's the same thing. A few years ago, I tried it. The reverse side, of course, all the guys there, they wannabe actors, they wannabe musicians, you know, a lot of them are like unemployed, but they look good because they have like a nice Instagram with all kinds of modeling pictures. I'm like, that's exactly the kind of people that I'm not interested in going out with at all. And there are some famous people in there, both women and men, but a lot of actors, but they don't want a relationship. They just want to
Or they even
have quick sex. They just
actively
want to have
on it.
fun.
Are they even on it? Because like I had a couple of friends at the time that were celebrities, women and female. I mean, female and male. Where like their profiles were on the app and they were never on the app. They're like, yeah, I don't even know. I'm not even on that app.
I think some people
like they might have
are.
created a profile,
Yeah.
but they were never on it. Or like the app somehow kind of got them, you know.
I think maybe they are, but they just want like a quick fling or something, you know.
Maybe. I just
I
all the
don't know.
attractive like celebrities that I know don't really need to go on a swiping app
Exactly.
to like get attractive women. And then a
Exactly.
couple of my male friends that are on the app, like I've seen some of the women they go out with, like I've met them and I've heard the stories and like I haven't heard anything good. Like all of my friends that have been dating girls off the Raya app, it's like a disaster.
Because listen, but that's one thing too, right? That I want to talk about. You and your friends probably, but you do that. I don't know if you still do it, but anyways, you go on these apps and the girl that you guys take on dates, you know, are not the girls that would be good for a relationship. But you take them out because they're sexy, they're beautiful, very likely you're going to have good sex quickly. But you guys know that that's not going to lead to a relationship. But you still do it and you keep dating the same pattern of girl.
I've been like that in the past. It's not what I would do now. But
Yeah.
in the past, the version of me that was dating in the past, you know, partying,
Yeah.
drinking, sex, rock and roll, that kind of like that person was like, yeah, I know this is not going to be my wife, but I'm going to take this girl out on a date from a
Right.
dating app. And-
Right.
But I don't know whenever I get to that, if I'm going to be on a dating app, I would do it with much more attention.
Yeah.
I would screen girls way more,
Yeah.
considerably. I wouldn't go on dates all the time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It would be very rare that I go on a date. I would screen the person more heavily. I don't know. I'm just still not there because I think I'm just scared of like having to like swipe on photos on my phone to consider someone. But I've had a couple of friends that are doing matchmaking, which I haven't done.
But
a
matchmaking is like a fortune.
yeah. I mean, my friends are a couple of the companies they're working with. They're paying 10, 15, 20 grand.
I'll tell you, I've interviewed pretty much every matchmaker out there. They all have like their little crazy theories and everything. I never had a great experience with matchmakers because they all try to match me because they've been on the podcast and I don't think they do a great job. I'm not sure as a guy, and no disrespect to them, I would pay this kind of money to, for a service, but I mean, it depends how badly you want to be in a
I probably have
relationship.
3 or 4 friends that have like paid this kind of money.
I hope
and
it
none
works
of
out
none
for
of my
them.
friends it's worked out for.
That's what I'm saying.
They keep
It's
talking
like-
about other people they know that it's worked
Yeah.
out for. That somehow they've been convinced.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends has tried it and he's had no success.
Yeah.
I mean, they do send him really good quality girls. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, like they'll send him this girl who's like a Stanford grad and is a CEO of some company, but there's just something that doesn't work out or doesn't make sense. Like nothing works.
I don't think they do a good job like figuring out if the two people really match and want the same things. You know what I mean? It's kind of like luck because like if you pay them, they have a database of girls, so they gotta pick from that database, and they promise you. Usually, that's how the matchmakers. They promise you 3 or 4 dates, and so they have to deliver. So whoever is on that database, they have to do as best as they can. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure they have their rate of success, but for me, it honestly, never, ever, ever they've sent me on like a half-assed decent date.
I mean, my only
clients.
personal interaction with a matchmaker was like a few years ago, maybe right before COVID. It was like someone approached me that was a matchmaker, and they had a girl that was one of their clients. It was a woman who was paying all this money.
Oh,
Very
wow.
very wealthy woman, and
I
they found me,
remember.
and they said that like I was a potential
Wasn't
match.
she in Salt Lake City or something?
I mean, I'm not getting into like where she was from.
Okay,
or
but she was
something.
out of town.
Yes,
I
yeah.
remember that lady.
Yeah, yeah. And they wanted she was gonna
Yes,
fly in to
yes.
meet me, and blah blah blah. And like I don't know, for some reason they found me, just like they find anyone, I'm sure, right? The matchmakers, I'm sure they're scouring social media and
Yeah.
whatever. But they found me, and they're like, "We have the perfect girl for you." And I'm like, "You're a matchmaker." I'm like, "No, you don't have to pay. She's already paying us, but we want to set up a date with you guys." And
I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my only experience.
But it didn't work.
No, it wasn't.
It was not a match at all.
No. But we're friends. Her and I had spoke, and we're friends
Yeah.
now. And nothing happened between us. It just
Yeah.
wasn't like the right fit. But yeah, I guess whatever she was paying didn't work out for her either. But we're friends. I mean, we became friends.
There you
yeah.
go. And another thing that matchmakers do that I personally really don't like and disagree with, and including many of them that have been on the show, you guys can go listen to the episodes and make your own conclusions, but they have these rules, like these absurd rules. For example, most of them, they tell the women, like, don't have sex until you have you're in a committed relationship. Like, withhold sex.
Okay. With all the, but
Yeah.
do they even control that? What is that?
Well,
How do
no,
they do
because
that?
they say it's a rule, and if we find out you had sex, we're going to kick you out, and we're completely against it. Most of them, and I think it's absurd, personally, to tell someone, because I almost think it's like emotional blackmail somehow. Like one of my guy friends said, like you're basically holding the vagina hostage because you want to date someone for 6 months, whatever it takes, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and not have sex until the guy looks at you and says, oh, okay, I want to be in a committed monogamous relationship with you. How do you know if you don't know if you guys have sexual chemistry?
I don't even think that exists. I mean, that kind of
It,
dating doesn't. I mean, not with. It doesn't
Yeah.
work for me. There's no way.
Same.
I mean, I could. I mean, where I'm at right now in my life is that I could go out on dates and not have sex, because I'm just not. It's not what
Yeah.
I'm rushing to do right now.
Right.
But like months, no, there's no way.
That's what I'm saying.
no
I'm never rush, ever, ever, ever. But after a while, I want to know if the
Yeah.
sex is good before I commit to
Oh,
be
yeah.
with that person only.
I mean, if I was
Right?
like someone I'm friends with, like there's some women that I'm friends with, like where we've already established we're in the friend zone kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe over months or years or whatever, like as friends, and there starts to turn like some attraction, then maybe that could kind of manifest or grow
But
in
that's
that way.
totally different.
But to set things up as like I'm going
Yeah.
on a date.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I talked to the women I was with yesterday, my friends, they're both like wanting to take things very slow, and they're going on dates. So like they really want to take things slow. Like they want to take months and months. They don't want to sleep with anyone right away. But they're on the dating apps and going on dates, and we were having this conversation of like, well, okay, how do you take it slow? Because like if you're on a dating app and you're going out on a date, it's
Yeah.
like I would respect that the woman doesn't want to sleep with me right away. But how long is that? How many dates am I going to take her on?
Exactly.
How much time am I going to spend with her? Because let's just say it turns into 4 dates, 5 dates. Now it's a couple of months.
Yeah.
Well, now we're just in the friend zone. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to shut off the energy, right?
I
If I'm really that
completely
attracted to her,
agree. Yeah.
I'm probably just going to move into a friendship and
Yeah.
not really pursue anything.
Yeah.
But at what
Or-
point do you both feel safe and comfortable to like cross the boundary?
Or you're going to end up going on a date with someone else.
Right, because that
Right?
one, because that one's my friend now.
Yeah.
And I'm in the friend zone, so we're gonna, I'm gonna start seeking something from
Yeah.
someone else.
But that's what I'm saying. This is why I disagree so much with the way matchmaker do things. I don't think it's a good way to convince someone to commit with you, to being only with you withholding sex. I think it's just a bad game to
I mean,
play.
maybe the matchmakers
you know?
think that like there's more success by withholding sex.
Well, I'm just saying, I disagree. I don't date a lot, but when I date, after so many dates, I'm like, okay, we have to have sex, because if the sex sucks, to me, it's a deal breaker. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone that I don't have physical chemistry with.
No, I mean, I couldn't be with somebody like for a long period of time and not like explore the physical connection either.
Exactly. So I don't know. Maybe you should go back to the dating apps.
I wouldn't even know which apps at this point.
I told you should do Bumble. Bumble is always great. Maybe Hinge. You should try a few. Put yourself out there.
There's no new app. Like these were apps that have been like going on for so many years. There's no
I know.
There's no new apps out there that are
not
better.
that I heard of. I know that. I mean, to me, Tinder is a shit show. I don't recommend Tinder. I think it's the worst quality of people.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
the
an-
same
I haven't
company
used-
as Hinge.
Yeah, but they're
But I
very
think Tinder, in my
different.
experience, I used to be on Tinder years ago too, and that was better when I was traveling.
Yeah.
Like Tinder in some countries, people like are not using Bumble, right? So it could
yeah.
be like whatever Eastern Europe or South America
Yeah.
or wherever they might use Tinder
Yeah.
more. But I mean, in my experience, but like again, my dating app experience is like 5 years ago or something. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure
But
what
I
the dating
think
app world looks like now.
I know you have a broken heart now, but like I said, I think you need to put yourself out there, because this is my opinion. When you keep insisting on trying to be with the wrong person, which is what you were trying to do, the right person is out there trying to find you. And you need to give them an opportunity to find you.
Yeah, you got to be available.
Yeah, you have to be available and give them a chance, because they don't know where you are. They're not going to knock at your door. Right. And I think there's nothing better, like once you are in a happy, wonderful, fulfilling relationship with someone that really accepts you, it's the best remedy for forgetting, the crap that did not accept
If it's with
you.
intention, like I
Yeah.
want to,
Yeah.
I think like, of course I want to be in a relationship. Of course
Yeah.
I want to find like the right woman, but I
Yeah.
also don't want to distract myself with the wrong women. And like, I don't want to get into a habit of like, like serial dating
Yeah.
or like trying to hook up with women or partying. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, of course I want to be in a relationship. So like that needs to be with intention. It needs to be
Yes.
clear. Needs to be like, I need to screen these people more
Yes.
carefully.
You have to be very picky. And I think I told you one thing that I do. I always say, like, do you want to do a video date? Because if the person tells you no, they just want you to take them to dinner or something, they don't want to do a video date or talk on the phone with you, usually it's like a red flag. Like they have something to hide. If they have nothing to hide.
So it's like we meet and then it's like, okay, let's talk on FaceTime or
Yeah,
video.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that.
Exactly.
I don't think
hey,
I'd jump into a date with anyone that I didn't feel super comfortable with.
Right,
Who I
yeah.
hadn't at least seen videos.
Yes.
Like, even if I didn't do a FaceTime video, I definitely would need to see a significant amount of like social media videos or
Yes,
something, right?
exactly.
Or send me videos.
Yes.
No, I don't know. I'd never,
Yeah.
I don't think, maybe 20 years ago when dating apps started or something, there were surprises or you didn't know if people showed up like their photos. I don't think now it's like, at least for me, it would be, I just wouldn't end up with someone that doesn't look like their photo or
Right.
video. I mean,
Well,
they may
people
not have
still
chemistry. May not have
People do
chemistry.
that. People do that.
That's gaslighting? Is that gaslighting? Or that's
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 fishing.
it's catfishing.
Catfishing.
It's catfishing.
It has
I haven't been
happened to me.
catfished in a while.
It has. I was catfished in the past. Like I see these pictures of this guy and everything, and we text. And then when I show up at the restaurant, I barely recognize them. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, what's wrong with you? Like
You
they
took
don't
the
even have
photos from
hair.
like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
or
from
photo
2030.
AI or something, whatever. Yeah.
So this is why after that I'm like, no, my time is so precious. I am never gonna go anywhere without like doing a video
Yeah.
call and stuff, because people that are real and honest, they have no problem showing themselves, telling you who they are.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, if I was going to take you out from a dating app, I would be like, show me your Instagram.
Yeah.
I'd be like, send me a video.
Yes.
I probably would be a little more obnoxious about it. Like, let's FaceTime, show me a video.
Yes.
Like, there's no way I'm going to take you out because I'm not going to do a coffee date. Like, I'm just not a Starbucks. Like, let's meet.
Oh my
Like,
God,
I saw some
no,
relationship
I know,
coach
so boring.
years ago. She was a relationship coach, and she was like, basically, you got to play the numbers game. Where like she was saying the best way to date off the dating apps is to like set up multiple coffee dates.
Oh
like,
my
she taught
God,
this whole
that's
thing of like
horrible.
she like
Who is-
post up she'd post up at like Starbucks. and have like 5-6 dates.
Oh my God.
And she's like, you can't just go
no.
out and waste like time on dinners
No.
and drinks and blah,
This
blah,
is
blah.
like horrible
It's like,
advice.
if I'm going to go on a date, I want to be at a nice dinner.
She's
I
the
want to have
kind of-
maybe a glass of
yeah,
wine.
no,
and so
yeah.
I'm going to screen the girl enough
Yeah.
that I know I'm going to be okay having dinner with.
No,
Now,
yeah.
you get to dinner, the chemistry may or may not be there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't remember the last time where I like, met someone, I didn't know. I took out to dinner where there was like some massive surprise. I mean,
But this lady, this relationship coach, whoever he is,
as a woman, yeah.
Yeah, this this serial dating, like coffee shop, it just it's like desperation.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work to me. It's like you're gonna set up, set down like an interview process. Like might as well have applications
Exactly,
out.
like,
and
oh
have,
my
like someone like
God,
putting name
yeah.
tags on them.
I
and
know,
it's like
like-
a whole thing. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, no, never. Yeah, I think that's horrible advice. Whoever this woman is, don't do it. Date with intention. Take your time. I am a good example, right? We were talking about my situationship. I was tangled up in that for 2 years, and I kept letting this wrong person come back, as you know very well, and like taking crumbs. And if you're taking crumbs, it starts messing up with your self-esteem, messing up with your ego. And then if you give yourself a chance to someone else, you might find somebody that treats you really well, and you could see yourself like in a happy, wonderful, amazing relationship, and this is what you deserve. You deserve much more than crumbs.
Yeah, no crumbs.
No crumbs.
Can we do like a no crumbs party?
No crumbs party?
No crumbs party.
No crumbs
Invite all the
party.
single people. No crumbs.
Yeah, we could do like, you know what? I saw one time remember Sex and the City?
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea. Like they did a party that it was all singles, and each single person should bring a single friend. To see like if their single friends liked each other. That's a good
I like
idea.
that.
Maybe we could do that.
Yeah.
One of these
I think
days.
everyone should be having dinner parties and inviting single people. Like I
Yes.
think I'd much rather have a
But-
dinner party at home,
Yes.
invite a few people, and then everyone's got to
Yes.
invite someone single. So there's like,
That's what I
half the
meant. In
party's
this
single.
case, like everybody say,
Yeah.
hey, bring a single friend. So you never, even if hopefully there is somebody who has chemistry with somebody else. If not, then you just meet like a bunch of new people.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, but before we run out of time, Zen Arts is doing amazingly well, right? We're in the middle of party season.
Yeah, holidays.
You're planning all these incredible parties. You plan Christmas parties. You plan New Year's parties, birthday parties, everything under the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest budget anyone ever gave you for a party?
Oh, that's a really good one. I mean, we did a $10 million wedding
Oh my God.
in Florida for an Indian wedding. It was pretty lavish.
Wow, $10 million. That just for entertainment or for the whole wedding?
No, the whole wedding was $10 million. I mean, that's a lot.
How
right?
much
I mean,
for entertainment?
This is like probably like $1.5 million.
Oh my God.
I think it was over $1 million in flowers.
Wow.
$1
$1
we've done a
million
couple of lavish.
in
I mean, we've done
flowers.
some pretty lavish weddings, but I think the Indians are the most lavish that I've experienced. And
They spend
really
serious
don't.
money,
Yeah,
right?
They don't spend any expense.
I hope the marriage lasts forever for this
Yeah, I'm
one.
not sure what the success rate is.
Did anybody ever ask, do you remember the craziest thing anybody wanted in a party? And could you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had some, like, there was a time kind of even before Pink started flying around stadiums where someone wanted an artist to fly around a stadium, and we made that happen. We're like with 3-dimensional flying, and it's probably a couple $1 million to do this kind of rigging and kind of using this sort of sophisticated flying systems. But I mean, I've also been had clients that have asked me like, can we have, 6 girls peeing in champagne glasses? I mean, I get kind of a little bit of everything, from like high end.
And you're like, yeah, if you're paying, yes,
stadium
right?
stuff.
But what's the answer to
I mean-
that? Yes. Can they pee in the champagne glass? Yes.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we could do that.
Oh my
We could
God.
do that.
I mean,
We can't
people
do
with
that.
money, they can get crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I can only
I
imagine.
don't tend to
the
do anything that sexually overt, unless it really makes sense. So yeah, we do a little bit of everything.
I can only imagine the stuff you must have seen in all the years you've been doing
Yes.
parties. But it's a really fun life.
It is fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, thank you so much for being on Cat on the Loose.
Thank you.
I am sure love is trying to find you.
I'm looking.
So keep on. Yes, he's looking, ladies. So if you're listening to the audio episode, he looked at the camera. If you're listening to the audio episode, don't forget to. You can watch the entire video episode on our YouTube channel, Cat on the Loose Podcast, and you can see mini bits and clips of our episode on our social media. Real Cat on the Loose and Cat Zamuto is all over the place. And to see Doug, the Instagram is Zen Arts LA, right?
No,
Zen Arts.
Instagram's just Zen Arts.
Instagram is Zen Arts, and I mean that's the best place to see you. There are a few pictures of you there, but not a lot.
Not a lot there. No.
He's very mysterious.
Yeah.
But if you girls want to meet him, feel free to send me a DM and I'll hook you up.
Slide into her DMs.
If you
or
do-
Zen Arts' DMs.
Or Zen, yeah, they
slide
can
into
slide.
Zen Arts'
yeah,
DMs.
better.
Okay.
Just go straight to the source. Thank you, Doug. It was such
Thank
a
you.
pleasure, and I'm sure I won $100 from you.
No.
Oh, you're gonna buy me breakfast.
Okay, we'll see.
Guys, be safe out there, and I'll see you very soon. Many kisses. This was fun.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Kat.
you, Doug.
All right.